Hello everyone, on the counter is my CZ Shadow 2, the Urban Gray model. I've had this for a little less than a week and I've took it to the range one time. So this is going to be my review after one time at the range. I have my targets here. I'm going to talk about the targets, the distance, the ammo I used, so on and so forth, and then give my opinion on what I like and dislike about the CZ Shadow 2. So let's get the targets and let's get into it. Here's my target for my first time using the CZ Shadow 2. This is the first magazine. It came with 17 round magazines, but in the mail today I got the +2 extensions and put those on here. So there's 16 here and one here. I pulled one. I think that if you were, had more skill or former training, you could definitely get them all in this interior diamond. I'm just a hobby target shooter that doesn't have any formal training. So I think that the pistol is definitely more capable than I am, and that you could get them all in here if you're good enough. I had the target at 10 meters or 33 feet, was using factory 115 grain, brass case, full metal jacket, target ammo. It ate everything, it fed everything, there was no issues there. The weight of it, the first shot, it was literally like shooting a 22 long rifle out of a bolt action gun. When you shoot a real rifle cartridge, like a 30 caliber rifle cartridge, you feel some recoil, you hear the bang, whatever. And then you go to a 22, right? It's the same thing. It's a bolt action. It works the same, but it's nothing. And it was kind of like that because the weight is so great that literally after the first magazine, I learned to just let the weight do the work. And then the trigger pull is so light and the reset is so short. It was just a matter of getting that down, and I think that I did okay. Granted, I'm not a professional or anything, but with the first time, I'm somewhat satisfied. I would actually be honest and say I'm kind of disappointed because I think I did better with the SPO1 Shadow than I did with this one, but I think that's because I was concentrating so hard that I was had this expectation already that, hey, I've got this competition 9mm pistol, it's going to be even better, so on and so forth. And then I forgot that there's the human element. So I do have another target. So I did the same thing with the other one where I did one target, pulled it, and then went for another target. So this is one magazine and then 5 on the next one. All right, here is my second target. This is 5 magazines, same distance, 10 meters, same ammo, 115 grain, brass case, factory new ammo. No problems. Now this I was quite happy with, especially the top targets, because I don't usually do as well with the top targets as I do with the bottom. I have a hard time with the tilt, and that's going to be one of my things with the pistol is I'm going to have to adjust is the rear sight, but I'll get to that. Let's talk about the target. Now, I can be honest that I've never done this well with the upper ones at this distance. Usually I can get them in the bottom and maybe get a few here, but to get them stacked on top of each other in the bullseye area, I was extremely stoked. Now here, I couldn't hit it to save my life. I kept putting round after round after round, and I couldn't get it here. I tried and I tried and I tried, but everyone else, I got no problem except here too in the middle. Now I think that's because the sights on this one are a little taller than the SPO1 Shadow, but I'll talk about that too. But all in all, I was very happy with this, and I think that if you're more skilled, have some formal training, you can do even better than this. Now this, I would say, as a hobby target shooter, I'll take this any day. I look forward to stretching this out because I've already done that with some of the other CZ pistols I've had, is I keep putting the target 10 feet out more because the range goes to 75 feet. So this is only at 33 feet. So I'm curious to see what I can do at 40 feet, at 50 feet, and see how the groupings grow as I go down the range. I know with the SPO1 Shadow, I know after 50 feet, I start doing a lot worse. So I'll see next time how I do. Now I'm going to talk about what I like and what I dislike about the CZ Shadow 2 after using it at the range for the first time. Let's start with what I dislike. I dislike the safeties. I think that these are completely useless, and I have no idea why they put these on here just to put a different one in the case for you to put on, because the ones that it comes with are completely useless. This one is not useless. It has one side that's useless, but this side not useless. When you look at the safety, it's flat. There's no meat to move anything up or down, so you literally have to be thinking about it and drag your thumb across it. You can't just casually go choop, because there's nothing. It's completely flat. So sometimes I find myself keep doing this because it keeps going over it. And this finish is super slick. It's nice, I'm not complaining at all. But when you look at this finish compared to the other CZ Shadow, the original Shadow, the SP01 or the 75B, that black polycoat finish, this is not the same. And this finish is the same on the inside, and it's super slick too. I'm going to take this apart too and show you the inside. You're going to want to see it. It's cool. It's different than the other CZ pistols, and it's something that I didn't do in the original video because I literally got it from the gun store, came home, and did the first initial thoughts. And after I took it apart, it's way cooler on the inside, and there's some cool stuff to talk about. But one big negative is these safeties. Why they even put these on here, I have no idea. Now I just have to do the work to put the other ones on there that they included. They should have just put this on here and not even messed with this, because these suck. Ideally, I would like to have the SP01 Shadow style, where it's this one on both sides. Even though this is for right-handed only, yes, I say that. I know that it's not, I know the controls has a safety on here, but this is a competition pistol. It's not really meant for left-handed people. The magazine release button sticks up so far. When you put this in your left hand, it sticks up in between your fingers. So if you try to use this left-handed, I mean, look, it's between my fingers. So it's not really comfortable in your left hand at all, because I was holding this one, the SP01 and the SP01 Shadow in my other hand, and then I would switch them, right? But look at how far it sticks into my fingers. It's in between my fingers, like it's touching. So it's not comfortable. So this is definitely right hand use only, and that would kind of be why they only included the safety that has the right side and the left side still completely useless and flat. So I don't know why they did this. I think that's stupid. I think they realized that and then put this in there, but now I have to put this on here, so they could have just, did that for me, but whatever. Another thing I don't like, how big the magazine release button, the profile of it is. Now I have small hands. I wear size small gloves. I'm only 5'9", and this is a beast of a gun. So look at the grip. Now it has the +2 on it, and with the factory 17 round magazines, it's still, if you have big hands, no problems. So all of them like this have the same grip length. So they all fit in my hand, no problem. And I don't really mind the weight. I thought that the 46 ounce weight I wouldn't like, but I actually like it. And with the magazine, with the +2, it makes it even heavier. It's definitely over 3 pounds right now. I should get the scale out and see how much this weighs. Unloaded. Hold on. On the scale, it says 47 ounces. I would say that's pretty accurate. The finish on the slide, it's nice, but it's really slick. And these grooves, so these ones in the front, I don't know if you can tell or not, they're longer than these ones here. Now, granted, the rear sight does actually give a little bit of grip texture to grab the slide by the rear, and I find myself using the slide and a combination of the rear sight to do this, because it's how I get the best grip on it, or by the front like this. These ones here, I just find myself, it's really slick, and the angle that they're cut at, right? They don't go all the way down here, and with the controls and stuff in the way, you don't have a lot of space. So it's still possible, but you still have the sight, and it's the adjustable height sight, and I have it all the way down. I didn't adjust it at all, but I'm going to, because this front fiber optic night sight, or front fiber optic sight, excuse me, it's not a night sight, is taller than on the SP01 Shadow or the SP01. That one is really low profile and you can see the fiber optic. Here you can't see it because it's encased in plastic, but you can see it this way. I do want to adjust these, but for the first time I didn't adjust them at all, and I think that's why I couldn't hit the center, because I kept adjusting the height this way and I couldn't get it. That's why I have a whole bunch right above and a whole bunch right below. I just couldn't make the adjustment. Next time I'll have the screwdriver with me to move the rear sight up so you can see how it's going to move up when I turn the knob upwards. So the height will go because these are a little taller and I wasn't used to it. First time though, I'm not complaining. Those are some of the nitpicky things that I don't like. Trying to, release the slide after it's locked to the rear too. I just prefer to use the slide lever release, to be honest. But at the same time, if you have bigger hands, I bet you it's not going to be a big deal. I think it's a combination of the finish is slick and I have small hands, and I'm probably just making excuses. Some people, I think, would complain about this grip texturing thing, because I know a lot of people in the Glock community don't like the grip texturing or the finger grooves. Here, I don't mind the texturing. I just think they went a little too far with it upwards. So your middle finger is like on the border between the texturing. It's like some of it is texturing and some of it is not textured. And then your other two fingers, definitely getting all texture. And so is your backside of your hand or your palm. Now, if you have bigger hands, obviously you can see here, then there your pinky would have no texture. So my grip is different probably than yours, because if your hands are bigger, you probably have more of your middle finger here on this, and then your pinky is down here. So you may even have a better grip on this. But what I learned is don't fight the grip, let the weight do the work. So once I finally realized that the weight is part of the design, I started to use that to my benefit, I think, by loosening up my grip and letting the pistol do the work. Now this trigger on here is super butter. This is better than any of the 1911s that I have. And that's hard to beat, a 1911 trigger, but this definitely does it. And the 1911s that I have that cost more than this were the Operator, the Emissary, and the Loaded, all from Springfield Armory. This was under 1,000. Those were all 1,000 or more. So this is the best cost-effective pistol that I have, and dollar for dollar, you can't beat the performance that you get with one of these. I absolutely will stand by that. You can get fancier, more expensive 2011s, but for $1,000, you can't beat this. Not a chance in hell. This is an epic piece. These grips on here, I recommend on all your CZ pistols. Doesn't matter what grips they come with. Take them off, clean all that sticky stuff, whatever it is that they put on there, and then lube the hammer springs. Here, there's 2 of them. So lube both of them. So I've learned to take the grips off. And also in here, you want to clean this magazine well really good. So you see that maybe you can't, that it's kind of worn the finish off. It's going to eventually do that, the magazines. But these magazines also have the same slick finish. These don't have the same finish that the CZ75B magazines or the, the SPO1 magazines. These are in the SPO1 Shadow and the Shadow 2. They have these magazines that are the competition style. That's 17 9mm on one side, and then you got your 40 cal on the other to shoot your major division. So you can get the barrel and do the swap and shoot 40 cal in this also. So this is a true competition pistol. I put these +2 extensions on here from Mec-Gar. Got these from Top Gun Supply. Easy to install and adds a little bit more capacity and a little bit more grip size. So if you're a big dude, then you want something in the CZ line of pistols for your hand size and with the controls, because you'll have no problems whatsoever. Now this hammer is different too. It's bigger and wider. I don't really know if I noticed that it made any kind of performance difference, but I definitely think it has to do with the smoothness in the trigger, because this is way nicer than the SPO1 Shadow. By far the trigger. This is the take-up. It's just this little bit. That's it. On all the other ones, it's way more than that. On the 75B, it's way more than that. On the SPO1 Shadow, it's probably twice this. But that's it. And then you barely have to pull, I would say 3.5, 4 pounds max. And the reset is super short. So shooting this in single action, that's the reset. So you see, you can literally stack them on top of each other repeatedly really fast if you're good, because it has a short reset. The weight will mitigate any recoil. It will eat any ammo, and this thing is a sweet piece. If you guys can afford it, check out the CZ Shadow 2 or any other of the CZ line of pistols. These all-metal 9mm pistols from CZ are by far more fun to shoot than any of the Glocks or SIGs that I have that are the polymer. The reason that I got into the CZ line of pistols is because the Beretta that I wanted, the 9211 with the manual safety rather than the decocker, was out of stock. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And then given the magazine capacity and that all of the 75 series magazines will work together, you can't beat these. Dollar for dollar, when you talk performance, this is, I would say, the king of the mountain for what you can get for $1,000 or less. There are nicer guns that you can get, but they're going to cost thousands of dollars more. You look at your Wilson Combat, you look at your upper echelon 1911s, you look at your 2011s, those cost at least $2,000, if not more. The Staccatos, $2,500, if not more. So if you want your dollar to stretch and you want a nice target shooting pistol, this is awesome. It does have an accessory rail, so you could use this for a carry pistol, but it's super heavy, and I don't think you'd want to. Now, I did say that in the box it came with these little plastic things that I thought were to change the size of the magazine release button. There is a screw. I don't know if you can see it. There is a screw on there. So that's what I thought these little plastic things were for, that you would take it out and it was like, it would change, like as a buffer, it wouldn't be able to extend as far. But this is for the recoil spring on the inside. So this is way different than any of the other pistols on the inside also, and I think it's cool to see. And the only thing that I'm going to complain about is taking the pistol down apart isn't as easy as it previously was, because they made this like eye shape here, and this doesn't stick out as far. So used to be able to take a rubber mallet and hit it out. Now I have to take the wooden end of the rubber mallet and push it out. And then I have this little plastic tool to pull out on the other side. But other than that, it's, you know, the same taken apart as any other CZ pistol. It's just they did that for some reason, and now it's harder to take down. But I'm going to take it apart off camera, and then I'm going to show you the inside because I think it's cool. So I've got the Shadow 2 disassembled now, and you can see the frame is just a regular CZ75 frame. It's just a little bit bigger and heavier. A lot of the extra weight is here in the frame because it is a little bit bigger than the other ones. This one is closer to a 5-inch model, but not quite. The other ones are only like 4.6. So this one's a little bit bigger, bulkier, and heavier. So that's where the extra like 5 or 6 ounces in weight from the SPO1 Shadow comes from. The frame is a little bit bigger, the barrel's bigger, slide's bigger. The recoil spring is metal, and it has these little plastic things. This is what I was talking about that I thought was the magazine release, but they're for the recoil spring. So I guess you can change the buffer size, and there's a lot of these. They came with 5 of these. So that's cool, something to mess around with. I haven't quite figured out how to take this off of here yet, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I also have to figure out how to take this safety off and put this one on it. Slide, barrel, pretty similar. This piece is a little bit different. but you can see visually if you have another CZ75 series pistol that it's a little bit different on the inside, but somewhat the same. So overall, it's similar, and the dimensions in the magazine and the grip are the same, so the magazines will work. But the barrel's a little bit bigger, slide's a little bit bigger, and the recoil spring, as you can see, is all metal. So to wrap things up, I had a great time using this at the range. I look forward to getting more range time with it, making more videos about it, and comparing it to the other CZ75 competition model that I have, the SP01 Shadow. That video will come next, but I got to get some more range time with this. Until the meantime, please like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more CZ content, and I'll see you on the next one.